1947, the great symbol of the British Empire came down for the last time to be replaced by the banner of the new Indian government.
50 years ago, life in India was very different from how we know it today. Having stepped into the second decade of independence, India was a land of restless scarcity. A 4-year wait for an ambassador car, a decade for a Fiat, and a decade for a Bajaj. With only a few players per category, consumers in India had no choice but to buy whatever was available at the most convenient location, and nowhere to turn to if they had an issue with the product or service. Business was conducted very differently. Because demand was so much higher than supply, market power lay firmly in the hands of corporates. Its stalwarts, who were industrialists, were luminaries in their own right, who had the consumer's interests at heart as much as business practices. Some of these founding fathers were J.R.D. Tata, Ramkrishna Bajaj, S.P. Godrej, Ashok Birla, Naval Tata, J.N. Gazdar, Arvind Mafatlal, Keshav Mahindra, Harish Mahindra, and many others. This came a full 2 decades before the Indian government introduced its Consumer Protection Act. Over the years, Cfbp worked tirelessly to address the issues of consumers across the country. Its members did their best to live up to the vision of this noble organization. The main activity of Cfbp is to create awareness among businessmen, professionals, and consumers about their respective rights, duties, and obligations. Joint meetings are arranged so that cases may be resolved to the satisfaction of both the parties. The Food and Public Distribution Department recently extended a grant to the Cfbp for consumer education programs and resolving consumer complaints. Conceived in 1988, the Cfbp Jamnalal Bajaj Awards for Fair Business Practices are given every year to manufacturers, traders, and trade associations with outstanding records for following fair business practices. Cfbp has had several presidents, and each one of them has done amazing and path-breaking work. This is how Cfbp has made a difference and grown. Then a new dawn emerged when Mr. Swapnil Kothari took over the reins of this great organization in 2018. Mr. Kothari, a renowned senior lawyer and the most sought-after panelist on several national channels, heading various corporate boards, a master chess player with an international rating. His dynamism is well known. With his unparalleled charisma and enthusiasm, he infused a new energy into the cause. The entire scenario changed completely, and the council, by the end of September 2022, which was the end of his second term, became completely unique and where it ought to have been, given that it was started in 1966 by the forerunners of the country, with an advisory board and team unmatched in the history of the organization, or for that matter any other NGO. His third term started in October 2022, and more glory is expected.
Please put your hands together for the very tall, handsome, dynamic and young Mr. Swapnil Kothari.
CFBP is a very, very prestigious organization. It was started 52 years ago by the 3 major founders, Mr. Godrej, Mr. Tata and Mr. Bajaj. Along with that, there were several other industrialists and professionals who joined hands together. What was this organization set up for? This organization was set up for creating fair business practices, instilling those values. Basically what these founders, these visionaries dreamt was idealizing institutions and institutionalizing ideals. That is exactly what we are doing, and we are carrying that legacy today, making people aware of their rights, their consumer rights. As a consumer, we are consumers of everything today. When we watch TV, when we go and eat food, when we buy medicine, we practically cover the entire spectrum of services sector.
Magical 40 book event activity by CFBP, meeting with all women and motivating them.
जहां पे जरूरतें कम होती है वहां पे जमीर में दम होता है. हमारी जरूरतें कम है इसलिए हमारा जमीर में दम है. So this is where, you know, the entire progress of humankind lies. That when you are able to prioritize your own needs, you can then go ahead and achieve a lot of things, not only for yourself, but for others too. Thank you.
About that, women empowerment is something which I have taken up very passionately as president, because I believe that the Cfbp is an absolute sham if it does not look after women empowerment, because women have been the recipients of the biggest unfair practices since time immemorial. So if we cannot look after that particular aspect, 50% of our population is women, then that is something which then as an organization we would not have done our job or done our duty.
Seminar on cyber security, current trending issue, initiative by CFBP.
So the idea of having this first ever event was, firstly, I am an executive member with this particular association. It's one of the oldest associations in India, Council for Fair Business Practices. So the objective of this particular organization is to promote fair business practices.
हम सभी की पहचान कुछ अलग है उस आइडेंटिटी कार्ड से, और हम सब कहीं ना कहीं ये चाहते हैं कि दुनिया हमें उस अलग आइडेंटिटी से जाने पहचाने. वेलकम टू कैफे पहचान, where we uncover the real identity of you and me.
ज़्यादा हो उतना मुस्कुराने की आदत है हमें. जितनी चट्टान ऊंची हो उतना हौसला बढ़ाने की आदत है हमें. जितना कार्य कठिन हो उतना परिश्रम ज्यादा करने की आदत है हमें. जितनी साजिश हो उतना दिग्विजय होना आदत है हमें. कई अपरिचित को परिचय देना, कई असहाय को सहायता देना, कई गुमनाम को नाम देना, ये तो शायद कोई फरिश्ता ही कर सकता है या फिर कविता लगा.
CFBP Consumer Film Festival.
Any person, any human being who has the power to give birth to another human being has to be the most powerful person.
Overwhelming in a good way, because a lot of students sent us entries in women empowerment, whether it was through paintings, slogan and the short films. So yes, this has been a great process.
I can only say one thing, that a woman says much more in a sigh than a man in a sermon. So other than that, I think it was very essential that we give women the platform to manifest themselves, to establish themselves, to present themselves in a fantastic manner, or in a manner which was very, very befitting of the Council for Fair Business Practices.
Jamna Lal Bajaj Awards, Cybercrime Awareness, Women Expo, Wellness Seminar, Finance Awareness, InvestWise, Cafe Expo, Women Career After Family, Titan book launch, CFBP mobile app launch. With all the initiatives and programs, CFBP continues to grow and will continue its trailblazing journey of creating awareness among consumers and implementing fair business practices every step of the way. CFBP Council for Fair Business Practices.